Is Italian football back to the elite? Is Real Madrid going to continue the domination of the Europe and win their 15th title? Will Napoli's squad shock the world and win the Champions League? Or Manchester City will finally raise the trophy that they desire for so long? All this and much more in today's video about quarter-final of the Champions League season 2022-2023. The most prestigious trophy in club football, the Champions League, begins with 32 teams from different nations across all of Europe. These teams are battling through the different stages of the tournament to eventually play the final match in May. It all starts with a group stage, and eventually only half of the 32 teams make it to the knockout stage. Later these 16 teams will be thinned out to only 8, and in today's video we'll talk about the favorites and underdogs between these 8 best European clubs. Here are my predictions for who will progress into the UEFA Champions League semi-finals. Let's start! The first match that I'll be talking about is Benfica-Inter. The Champions League quarter-finals first leg will start on April the 11th. Portuguese club Benfica will host Italian Inter Milan. The clash will take place at Estádio da Luz in Lisbon. Of course, most fans right away would think that the level difference between the teams is obvious and that the Italian club will conquer the quarter-final stage, but if we dive deeper and analyze their performance, we'll see that Inter Milan almost has no chance against Benfica. Right now, Benfica is in the first place in Liga Portugal. They are crushing their opponents. The club is leading the league with 22 wins out of 25 matches. Benfica has a comfortable 10 points difference with the second-place Porto, so their main focus will be on the Champions League. Let's also not forget that Benfica was able to finish the group stage in the first place. They defeated Juventus and had 2 draws with PSG. The club is well known for being a young superstar factory, and this season is no exception. Roger Schmidt has built an amazing and balanced team with sharp offense finishers like Goncalo Ramos, who's the top scorer in Portuguese league, and João Mario, who's got 6 goals and 2 assists in 8 Champions League matches. The same balance is in defense, where the captain is experienced left-back Otamendi, and his partner on the right side is Benfica Academy's youth graduate 18-year-old Antonio Silva. Mark my words, this guy will be a future superstar. Even the departure of one of the key players, Enzo Fernandez, will not affect them. So overall, Benfica has a wonderful and well-organized squad. Now let's see what's going on with Inter Milan. After winning the Champions League in 2010, Inter Milan and the whole European football were on a spiral down. This Champions League quarter-final will be the first quarter-final for Inter after the 2010-2011 season. Inter Milan is struggling a lot. They don't have a designated leader other than 37-year-old Edin Dzeko, but don't take me wrong, the club is capable of playing good football. They just always lack something. And the most obvious is the lack of young talents. Yes, Lukaku, Mkhitaryan and Dzeko are wonderful players, but their prime is way in the past, and that fact will play a key role in the match. Once Roger Schmidt's squad will push the gas pedal and increase the intensity, we'll see how Inter will start collapsing. It'll be too much for Italians and Pippo Inzaghi to handle, and let's not forget Inter's poor performance in the Serie A, where the club lost 3 out of 4 matches. So I believe that Benfica will get to the semi-finals and will face another Italian club. So let's talk about the second pair in the bracket, and let's find out who will have the chance to get revenge on Inter Milan. Just looking at the statistics, it's clear as day that the clash between Napoli and AC Milan is a total mismatch. Napoli is 19 points ahead of the second-place Lazio. The Neapolitan team is having a course to win their first Scudetto since 1990, back when the team had the best player on the planet, Diego Armando Maradona. Perhaps now history repeats itself because Napoli acquired the breakout star of the season's Champions League, Khvicha Kvaratskhelia. His impact on the Neapolitan team is immeasurable. His game-changing ability and a tremendous performance, and then the nickname Kvaradonna, after the club's legend Diego Maradona. But the most important thing in Napoli is the structure of their team. Here's what former one of the best strikers in the world and the current analyst Thierry Henry said about Neapolitan.
He mentioned team. They are a team. It's not about, yes, we're going to talk about Osimhen, we're going to talk about Kvaratskhelia, but they are a team.
Luciano Spalletti's squad already beat Milan at their San Siro stadium back in September, so I don't think even die-hard Milan fans believe that the Red and Blacks will be able to overcome Napoli. Even though I truly like AC Milan, but the golden era of Rossoneri is in the past. I don't think they'll be able to stop the young and hungry squad of Napoli with the players like Victor Osimhen, Kim Min-jae, Piotr Zielinski, Kvicha Kvaratskhelia and many others. Luciano Spalletti's Napoli is too superior to Stefano Pioli's Milan. Even the ghost of AC Milan's Champions League golden past will not be able to help them advance to the semi-finals. I believe that Napoli can go all the way up, and I highly doubt that Milan will challenge them. The third match of the quarterfinals is between Chelsea and Real Madrid. Sometimes I think that football gods are doing it intentionally. This match is a rematch of the last season's quarterfinal, where Real Madrid defeated Chelsea 1-3 at Stamford Bridge, and where in the second leg Chelsea shocked the world by leading 3-0 on Santiago Bernabeu, until Rodrigo's goal took the match to the extra time, and later Benzema's goal knocked aristocrats out. It was a truly unbelievable football drama. I was incredibly excited when I saw that these teams will face each other again. Last year Real Madrid was a betting favorite. This year they're even more favored by betting companies and football analysts. The Royal Club has an unmatchable aura when it comes to the Champions League. Their poor performance in La Liga means nothing. Just look at the way how they defeated Liverpool at Anfield after losing 2-0. That's just something from another planet. On the other hand, unfortunately, we need to admit that Chelsea is far away from the team that they were a year ago. English club lacks consistency and momentum. Of course, Graham Potter's club is much better compared to the beginning of the season's team, but they're still not there to compete against a club like Real Madrid. On the flip side of the situation, Chelsea's 100% will not qualify for the next season of the Champions League, and I'm sure the Blues will go all in against Real Madrid. They have nothing to lose and there's no pressure on their shoulders. Here's how Christian Pulisic, Chelsea's midfielder, said about their Champions League rivals.
I wouldn't want to play us in the Champions League, I'll say that much. I think we were in a similar situation as far as last time we won the Champions League halfway through the year. Struggling in the league, a lot of people counting us out, and look what happened then.
The last match of the quarterfinals could easily be the sensational final of the elites of European club football. Manchester City against Bayern Munich. Doesn't it sound like a final? Unfortunately for their fans, one of them will be kicked out of the tournament. Despite the big names, both clubs showed inconsistent performances in their local tournaments and the Champions League games. Yes, Bayern won all 8 games in the biggest European club tournament, but their performance in the Bundesliga is far from the usual high standard. The same can be said about Man City. They are in second place in the Premier League, and even though they are running over and ruthlessly destroying the outsiders and objectively weaker teams, when it comes to the real challenge, somehow Pep Guardiola's squad is experiencing difficulties. This game will be won in midfield. Whoever will control the middle will win. That was the key reason why PSG lost to Bayern Munich. The French club could not stop the midfield. If never-raging Müller and Goretzka are going to crush the midfield the same way as they did against Parisian club, and if a 20-year-old Musiala is in proper condition, they will most likely win the clash. Here's what one of their leaders, Thomas, said about the match.
Quarterfinals against Manchester City. Long time ago, Pep left here in Bayern, now the first game against his team. We're looking forward to it, and I'm very happy that the last game is in Munich. Let's go. See you guys.
On the other hand, City's Godri and Gundogan will play a key role in the match as well. If the Spanish player and the captain will be in their best shape, citizens will dictate the pace of the match, and that'll be the key to success against the German giant. Also, we should not forget that Milan City is probably the best finisher in the world, Erling Haaland. So the picture seems pretty clear. Whoever will take control of the middle will end up advancing to the semi-finals. And I think it'll be Man City. I know some of you think that City's prime was a few years ago, but the same can be said about Bayern. Overall, I think City is a better team, and the only thing that can impact their performance is the pressure to win the Champions League. No matter what, the match should be very spectacular. Very soon we'll witness how the 8 best European teams will face each other for the fight to get to the semi-finals of the most prestigious club football trophy in the world. Some of them are favorites and some are underdogs, but the beauty of football is in its unpredictability. You never know what the gods of the game will decide. I personally picked Benfica, Napoli, Real Madrid and Man City. Leave your 4 teams of the semi-finals and other predictions in the comments. Thank you for watching the video. Subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss the next one. Until next time!